Hello students, good afternoon. Here Sonu sir with a new video of class 6 English, and in that we are taking our chapter 9. And this is a poem written by John Keats, students. And the poem's name is The Human Season. The Human Seasons. Chapter 9 poem written by John Keats. Students, as we know that John Keats is a poet of romantic age like William Wordsworth, but both William Wordsworth and John Keats and William Shelley also at the same time they were romantic age poet. At the same time they wrote poetries of nature also, with mixing the romance and romanticism with that. Using some words of romance, they did their efforts. Students, this poem, The Human Seasons, is poem of John Keats, written by John Keats, is based on the human life compared to the 4 seasons. Students, as you know, there is 4 seasons. There are 4 seasons. If we see spring, after then summer, then there is autumn and winter. So students, here detecting the rainy season is taking the time after winter, that is spring, and the time after summer, that is autumn. So students, after winter it comes spring, and after spring it comes summer, then autumn. So this is spring and autumn having some kind of same phenomena, some kind of different also, that after summer then the starting of winter is there and the season is somehow fresh, and like that in spring also after winter the season is better. So, but poetry started from the season of spring, summer, winter, and then summer, autumn, then winter. So students, before summer and winter and after winter, these 2 seasons, before winter is autumn and after winter is spring, these 2 seasons has taking an special importance, as this season is season of romance, it's season of beauty, charm and romance. So students, read this poem about human life compared to the 4 seasons. Students, in your course book page number 69, your poem, read this poem about human life compared to the 4 seasons. How our human life is compared to these 4 seasons starting from spring is the mentions given by John Keats. And students, now reading this poem, 4 seasons fill the measure of the year. 4 seasons fill the measure of the year. There is 12 months in a year, and to fulfill the year there will be 4 seasons. Important 4 seasons is there. There are 4 seasons in the mind of man also, and this 4 seasons, spring, summer, autumn and winter, is, according to John Keats, is also in the mind of man. And according to the season, the mind of man also changes, also diverts, also converts, and have some different thoughts depending on seasons. So students, he has his lusty spring when fancy clear. It is about human beings, humans, especially for human student, that what he did or what he does in spring season, what the inner form of him in spring season. The students, he has his lusty spring. Here lusty, what I have written, the meaning of lusty and lust. लस्टी लस्ट सुंदर चीज को देखने की गहरी Lalsa. So in lusty spring, there is a heart wish of him to see beautiful things nearby him, to see beautiful pictures, beautiful mates, beautiful friends, to see nearby her or him. So four seasons, and here we talk about human, men and women, both conclude in this. Students, four seasons till the measure of the year, fill the measure of the year. There are four seasons in the mind of man. He has his lusty spring when fancy clear, taxing all beauty with an easy span. So, what humans do in spring season? They feel spring season as a lusty spring, as a season to see beauty of nature, beauty of inmates, and beauty of nearby all areas, trees and flowers and all things. And it's time to expand or to spread ourselves nearby there, and we can go anywhere where we want, everywhere it is, and there is beautifulness, and always there is harmonious way to see the beauty and nature. And students, he has lusty spring when fancy clear, taxing all beauty with an easy span. So in spring, human minds think that we can or it can go further where it wants. If a man wants to go anywhere to see the beauty or to collect all beauty in his or her eye, a man and woman can do easy span of his or her in lusty spring season, and this lusty word, this word denotes romance and romance of man and woman, and easily we can say in the spring season the lust to meet, to inmates, to see the beauty and to collect the beauty in eyes, to span herself or himself in the beauties of another's is for spring season, and this occurs in the mind of man and woman. And this is explained by John Keats in this stanza. Then we see, students, he has his summer when luxuriously springs honeyed cud of youthful thought he loves. What is honeyed cud, students? You see in your word body it is given pleasant. And what is springs pleasant of youthful thoughts he loves? So after finishing spring season, he is not fully left with spring. In summer also, if he is talking about summer, he talks that he has his summer. He has his summer. He has his special summer when luxuriously springs. When what is luxuriously? That is aramdayak. It is comfort. So when that is luxuriously springs, pleasant. What is pleasant? Happiness, harmony, sukh. And if there is happiness and pleasance of the talk of spring or the luxury life of spring in summer. So in summer also men used to think about the past spring and the past spring which has been passed and or passed, and in that he always thinks that the spring's harmonious talk of youth, thought of youth which he loves. So he always used to think his thought of youth, of spring which started from the spring season. He always used to think and repeat his thought of spring seasons, thought of youthness, thought of pleasant of youth, and by that to ruminate and thinking his youth of spring in summer season, he felt in deep thinking, he moves in deep thinking, and by such dreaming high is nearest unto heaven white cups. And by thinking and dreaming high in this mood, he started thinking that he is flying in sky, and there is and heaven means Akash in sky, and there is poet cups means San Choti Khai, and in that sky there is a bay and there is a water's bay, some kind of small river or small sea, and in that he is thinking and feeling cool in his summer by thinking the lust and by thinking the romance of spring season in the summer, by thinking of the luxurious life of youth, of young age, and comparing those feelings in that age of spring season of youth, thinking of pleasance of youth, of romance of youth in summer. He is feeling just like that. He is floating in heaven or in sky, and there is a bay and there is a small sea, and in that he is floating himself and thinking and feeling cold of spring and thoughts of youthfulness. So students, if we see the theme of this stanzas is totally beauty, nature's beauty, and at the same time romance, seeing the nature's beauty and how the spring season is connected with lust and romance, and how in summer season also the youthfulness and the luxurious talk of youthfulness in spring is also converted and has been passed out to summer also. So students, have been the meanings of these words have been written. lusty, सुंदर चीज को देखने की गहरी लालसा, span, विस्तार, luxuriously, आरामदायक, heaven, आकाश, here it is heaven for sky, quiet curve, that इंसान छोटी खाई, ruminate means गहराई से किसी चीज के बारे में सोचना. So while poet thinks about his youthful thoughts and thoughts of youthness and youth, of spring pleasance in summer, he, while thinking that, he feels himself in a bay, in sky. This is a childish view of John Keats in this line, and students. So he feels like he is floating in a bay, in a small sea, in sky, and thinking of the lusty spring, thinking of the romantic spring, thinking of the time of his youth or her youth, and by thinking all that, he is explaining that these four seasons is just connected with the life of humans. Students, we concluded our first stanza or our first two stanza of this poem. Now left two stanza will covered in next video. Students, in homework you have to write word body of this poem. If you can write checkpoint, you have to write checkpoint of this poem in homework notebook. Otherwise I will take this in videos. Okay students? And there is a suggestion: if you write a poem, if you read a poem, first of all you have to write this poem in your notebook. And if you read or write a poem, first you have to know the name of that poets written by, and the preface of that poem, the background of that poem, how that poem emerges, how that poem goes to, and how that poem is connected with whom. So this is preface and background of the poem. First you have to know. So by then you can interestingly enters in that poem, and you can catch the sense and feelings of that poem. Okay students, so we are concluding on today's video. Next video we will conclude and complete the further and left portion of our poem. Okay students, till then